Welcome to the Arizona Pickleball League podcast, presented by Jigsaw Health. It's fun to feel good. And now, your hosts, Ashley LaRue and the Orchard Security Guy.
Hello, Arizona Pickleball family. This is Patrick Sullivan Jr. sitting in for Ashley LaRue once again, alongside the Orchard Security Guy and our wonderful guest today, Michael Loyd. OSG, let me start with you, sir. How was your weekend?
Busy weekend. Just flew back into town. I do have, if you're wondering, from Onyx World Headquarters, the championship ball right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And
I think
that's
I'm gonna
stored inside of
just a highly. No one could enter this. It's called a pickle pods.
Yes.
I mean, pretty much safety, reliable.
Yes.
I'll show you a little bit of peek of it.
Okay,
I feel like I have an edge up now.
Yeah. I mean, it is the Onyx Durafast 40.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Neon.
And shout out to Pickle Pods. I believe they sponsor Yana Grechkina. You know, OSG, I want to ask you a question. Last week, we had an amazing semifinal number 2 in the building. There are a bunch of beautiful red Christmas flowers, and I got to ask you this question. How do you pronounce that flower?
Poinsettia.
Okay, Michael Loyd, how do you pronounce
Poinsettia.
that?
I would also say poinsettia. I think he nailed it on the head.
Okay, my wife, who's from Wyoming, loves to call it a poinsettia,
Ooh.
which I believe is maybe phonetically correct if you were to look at the letters, poinsettia. But for the record, it is poinsettia. You have passed the test.
Let's go, SG.
Good job, Michael.
There we go.
OSG, what did you think about last week's semifinal match?
Well,
Semifinal number 2,
yeah,
Gilbert
semifinal,
Gladiators
yes.
versus the Tempe, sorry, not Tempe, the Scottsdale Scorchers.
Yes. They dominated.
They being the
11-2, 11-7, 11-7, 11-4 sweep. No set breakers, no match breaker. They looked good. They looked really good. And lucky for us, we have a rematch of week 5.
Week 5, the Peoria Pythons faced off against the Gilbert Gladiators. OSG, you want to run down those numbers from that match?
Yes. 11-7, Gladiators. 11-4,
Gladiators.
11-10,
Gladiators.
11-5,
Gladiators.
sweep.
Michael,
Welcome.
it's not week 5 anymore, is it?
It is not. No.
It's week 13 of the Arizona Pickleball League. We going into the Orchard Championship Cup. Talk us through some of the feelings you've been having this past week. You said to me, this is the matchup that I wanted. You wanted the Peoria Pythons, your Peoria Pythons, to face off against the Gilbert Gladiators in the Orchard Cup. Tell me more.
Yeah, I think, as a competitor, and not just me, but the rest of our team, we want to, play the best and beat the best. And right now, that's the Gladiators. With all due respect, they've been the best team. They've proven it. They're 5-0 for a reason. And we've become a little bit of a different team with the addition of PK, and we've made some adjustments to our strategies and the way that we're playing. And so we're looking forward to getting another crack at them for sure.
What kind of adjustments have you made in how you've been playing? Is there any sort of strategy things you guys are going to focus on as the Pythons?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's just kind of becoming more of a complete player, not just relying on fast hands and speeding up the ball and my fast game, but more so just being aggressive in different ways. You can do so with your dink placement, moving people around with your drops, and then attacking in the midcourt. So there's a lot of different things that I've been working on personally, but also we've just been talking together a lot as a team, watching a lot of film on our opponents and kind of just figuring out, okay, what makes sense for us to give us the best possible chance to win. Like I said, they're a very good team, up and down, don't really have a weak spot. And so we know going in that we've got to, take care of our end of the court and just let the chips fall where they may.
Speaking of weak spots, OSG, are there any security challenges you think we might face here at the Orchard for the Orchard Cup?
You'll always have those additional challenges when it comes to championships. I mean, everyone wants to get in here. We sold out in 3 minutes.
That's right, folks.
3 minutes. So it's a hot ticket. I'm sure there'll be some scalping going on, but we have additional cameras. You see some of these poinsettias that are out here. They may have cameras in them.
That's right.
We got that covered. The dogs have been training really hard, and I think we're ready.
Yeah, Monk and Lola are happy to get a little bit of a break from training right now. They're in their tent taking a nap right behind us at the moment. But
and we do know, by the way, the poinsettias and dogs don't go very well together.
That is correct.
They have trained on that.
That's correct.
Just like when here in Arizona you do rattlesnake training for your dogs.
That's right.
We have done the poinsettia training for our dogs. So those of you that are worried about that, it's all taken care of.
Yeah, just keep it in the comments, folks. Michael, let me ask you, we are arriving at the end of season 2. You made it all the way to the championship in season 1. You're now repeating in the championship. You're making another appearance. How has season 1 fared, or shall I say, how does season 1 compare from a player standpoint to season 2?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think being a part of anything for the first time is always really special. So I think season 1 was such a blast, and I'm just super grateful that I got to be included in that. But I'm really happy to see the progression in season 2, right? The format's changed. I think it makes it more exciting for the fans. I think it makes it more exciting for the players to know that you're always in it no matter what until the very last point. And yeah, I think also just the progression of the play, right? We've gotten better men and women in the league now, and just seen pickleball grow here in Arizona and in the league itself. And it's been really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, well said. I would say, OSG,
The only repeat player in the championship.
that's true. That's true. Michael Loyd is the only Python season 1 versus season 2.
Yeah, I think that says less about me and more about Amy's GM abilities. But in all seriousness, definitely had the good fortune of like 2 really good teams, obviously last year and this year. Like I said, just lucky to be along for the ride.
Well, Amy Riccardi, mainstay in the playoffs, and now mainstay in the Orchard Championship Cup. We are delighted to have her on staff full-time at the Orchard, and she also does a great job managing you Pythons. Speaking of you Pythons, is there going to be any sort of special walkout things that you guys do? I don't feel like we've been seeing the snake as much as we have in season 1.
So in the beginning, we didn't have the snake. We brought that back in the second half. So we do our breakout, and then you'll see us all throw that up right before we get on court. But yeah, we all have our own different celebrations. A couple of us have been mixing it up. Some of us have been staying true to it. Lauren, you'll see her with the money, and then me, I'm sticking with my cowboy cruits and my cowboy hat. That's been working.
That's right.
But PK and Rachel are the ones that mix it up. So we got a good balance of consistency, but new energy each time as well.
That's really important to the TV production crew here. We like to see a lot of energy in the walkouts. We know the fans here at the Orchard love that moment. Talk to us what it's like when you're on the court after the sparks have flown and the smoke is sort of clearing, but we're hearing, say, the national anthem and the rules explainer. What's going through your head as a player at that time?
Man, honestly, for me, I'm a guy that I'm very appreciative in the moment for a lot of this stuff. So I'm the type of person where it's in the middle of the national anthem, and I'm like, wow, this is sick. I'm here. I'm in a professional environment where I'm getting to play this, and I'm just incredibly grateful for not just the opportunity, but the experience altogether. It's crazy special for me to have it. You guys do a phenomenal job. I've told tons and tons of pros about it. There's nothing really like it, and it's just awesome. There's so many other people that could be in this position, so I'm just lucky to be in this and enjoying it.
I'm kind of curious about that. You play in a number of different pro tournaments, PPA, APP. When you're out at these tournaments, do any of the other players or whatever ask you about the Arizona Pickleball League?
For sure. There's a lot of people that have come up to me and they've been like, hey, I applied. Can you, help me out with it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all I can do is put in a good word.
Sure.
But, there's just, I tell everybody, you're not the only one coming up to me and asking about it. So it's there's tons of good players, like I said, that deserve to be in it. It's just there's so many of us now that are obviously at the same level and it being so competitive. And it's just interesting. That's the other thing that I told them. I was like, hey, it's not the same as these other environments. You'll see good players that like thrive in tournament settings like struggle with it, or maybe some people that actually rise to the occasion and play better. And so like it's almost tough for me to like really give people a good insight into it, just because it is so different, you know.
Speaking of rising up, rising to the occasion, Orchard security guy, you were here. I was here 2 weeks ago. 1 week ago? 2 weeks ago. Larry Fitzgerald, co-owner of the AZ Drive, held a kicking off the holidays party here at the Orchard. There were about 100 guests. Michael, you were one of the players from the Arizona Pickleball League that got the chance to play in a little exhibition game against Deckel Barr and Vivian Glosman. How did that go? What did that feel like?
It was great. So we had like a kind of a weird hybrid format where we were also playing. It was me and Alex Walker, and then the other mixed team was Augie and Angie Walker, and we were like kind of subbing in and out. And eventually, we came out on top, which was great.
I'm sorry, hold the phone. So you beat players from an MLP team.
Yeah, we did. So that
Yes,
was
you
great.
did. Yes, you did.
You know, Augie and Angie carried a lot of the weight there, but yeah, Alex played great. I had fun, and I think afterwards, like a lot of people were coming up to Augie and I and being like, "Wow, like you guys played phenomenal," and all this other stuff, which is obviously great to get those sorts of compliments.
Right.
But I kind of looked at Augie and I was like, "Dude, that's just like that's your level. Like, that's Augie." Everybody's always like telling me like, "Man, like Augie's so good," and I was like, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a great player. He's a great friend of mine. So it was cool to be able to share that with the Walkers as well, who are also great friends. And yeah, it's one of those things where like a lot of people were surprised that, you know, that happened. And for us, it's like, of course we respect like Declan and Vivian are crazy good players as well.
Absolutely.
They're both, again, great people on and off the court. But I think you're seeing the gap close in pickleball now, where it's like players are getting closer and closer. The gap between Challenger and you know, Premier is getting smaller and smaller, and the gap between people that are in and out of MLP is even smaller. So yeah, I mean, like we kind of all believe that we're at that same level. Arizona Pickleball League has, you know, really helped us in those team environments and knowing what we can do and what we're capable of. So yeah, just another confidence booster to kind of add to it.
I think for us, all of the fans of the Arizona Pickleball League and you players, you know, we've seen the best play up close, and the pickleball that we've been witnessing here at the Orchard on Tuesday nights, you know, I knew sitting as DJ Pickle over on the corner of the court, I knew that it was extremely good pickleball being played. You can just kind of see it, and after you've been watching it for 4 years, you get a sense for it. I thought it was a great sort of apples to apples. Okay, this is a great thing for everybody that's in the Arizona Pickleball League to see. We're on a level. Maybe this is, you know, Tuesday night pickleball happening at the Orchard on more of a local scale here in Arizona, but we know from the viewership stats it is being watched nationally.
Yeah.
The eyes and really the influencers in pickleball is who is tuning in to watch Tuesday night pickleball at the Orchard. So the eyes on you guys tomorrow, the Gladiators, the Pythons, there's going to be, I think, quite a few people tuning in from around the country and cheering for whoever is their favorite team. OSG, what do you think about that?
Well, they're going to see some crazy points. They're going to see some great pickleball. I know that's going to happen. I wanted to ask you real quick, going back, you played with Takako last year, and I know Takako has a famous phrase, "I see no faces."
I love this. I was just talking about this.
And you mentioned earlier about Augie, and you guys are such good friends. What happens tomorrow night, though, when the lights go off and now it's competition time?
I mean, you know, there's definitely a level of like the see no faces, right? It doesn't matter who's on the other side, but I think it's also such a unique thing where in this league, we all know each other so well. We know each other's speed ups. We know each other's looks and things like that. So it's like I have to be weary of that and understanding that Augie and Craig know what my strengths are, but on the flip side, I know what their strengths are. And so there's like truth to it. Like, right. Like I'm not going to go and just like be nice to you because like you're such a good guy and all that other stuff. But there's the advantage of, okay, we know each other's games inside and out. I mean, Augie's a guy that I've played a lot of tournaments with and had some of my best results with. Craig is another guy who's just constantly mentoring me and helping me figure things out. two of the nicest guys you'll ever play. So if there's anybody that I have to turn that off against, it's that team. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense. Let me change speeds here for a moment. You, on your head paddle, have a couple of Bible verses, and I think you've got one on one side of the what do you call the
Frame?
the
Yeah,
frame,
so like I
one
put
on
down
the
some
other
electrical
side.
tape and I use a
Yeah.
Sharpie. I actually have like two Bible verses on one side.
Okay.
The first one is Proverbs 16:32. That's kind of like my life verse. I describe it as my mom always had that blasted around growing up, but basically it just says, better he who is patient than he who is powerful, better he who is self-controlled than he who conquers a city. So all about just like self-control, staying within yourself, and understanding that like if I can just control my controllables and not worry about anything else, then I'll be good. And understanding that the rest of it honestly is in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's control. So faith's a big thing for me. The other Bible verse that's on there is 2 Corinthians 12:9, and that just talks about basically boasting of your weaknesses instead of talking about how big and strong you are, and instead that directs attention back to God, right? And so in a place where I could be bragging and talking about how great I am, I'm actually talking about weaknesses and things that I need to work on, and instead that leaves room for him, right? I think one of the big things that I've learned through my faith and just like kind of growing up and getting older and like being more out in the world is understanding that like if I sit here and brag to you about everything that I'm good at, you're not going to love that. There's not going to be much for you to relate with. That's not going to be something that we're going to bond over. But if I talk about, hey, this is an area I'm struggling with, I don't have confidence in that, that's going to leave room for us to like understand each other as human beings, and then you're going to want to talk to me way more because we've got something in common that we can actually grow from. So that's another thing that I keep in mind on the court is just like, okay, like I don't have to be the guy, you know what I mean? As much as I like to pump myself up and have fun and like get involved with the crowd, I'm understanding that like I'm an imperfect human out there and I'm gonna make mistakes, and my weakness is gonna be a room for me pointing strength back to him. And then the last thing that I have written along the other side of the paddle is just I deserve grace too, and that's just a big thing that I always talk about. Grace is so important in all of your relationships. I like to be somebody, at least I'm trying to be somebody that like if you ever mess up around me, I don't want to be the guy that's going to make you feel bad. I want to be the guy that's like going to help you and figure out like what you need to do. But as much as you like give grace and we're kind to other people, oftentimes we're our hardest critic. And so that's something that I try to keep in mind is like, okay, I deserve grace too. As patient as I am with others, I should be patient with myself. And so those are kind of like the three things that I like to have in mind when I'm out on court. And it's funny because I'll actually like flip back and forth on the paddle. Somebody was like, this side of the paddle is way more worn than the other. And I'm like, well, I really needed grace that day. Because like I go back and forth, keeping one closer to me when I read, when I serve, when I return, just so that I can have that visual. And if I feel like I need the other side, then I'll flip it to that and I'll stick with that until I need the other back again. So
That's beautiful. I love that. Speaking of serves, you are pretty well known for having one of the biggest, jumpiest serves in the league. Have you ever measured how fast your serve is?
I have not. I could throw out a number, but I would be absolutely just guessing. So I don't want to be just lying and saying like, oh yeah, I hit an 80-mile-an-hour serve. I have no idea how fast it is, honestly.
How do you feel the Gladiators are going to be able to handle your serve, all four of them?
Yeah, I mean, so I played Ariel a couple weeks ago in Chicago, and that was something that, I was able to get some free points off here and there. I'm sure she's, been prepping for that. And I think I kind of always go into it with like the idea that they're prepped for it, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to expect that they're expecting your best shot.
Yeah.
If I get free points off of it, that's great. But more so for me, I'm looking to get some short returns, then seeing if I can hit aggressive thirds off of it, whether it's a drive, a drip, or just like an easier drop to get to the kitchen. So
Right.
I think they'll be, more than prepped for it. Augie and Craig have seen that thing a million times. Ariel, like I said, got to compete against it a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
But I'm still going to, do my thing and see what I can get out of it.
Last Friday, we had a season party, as the Arizona Pickleball League at Chicken and Pickle Glendale. Shout out to our sponsor, Chicken and Pickle. We got to witness a couple of serves, Michael Loyd big serves against Leslie Shaughnessy, one of the two referees.
Yeah.
How many returns did Leslie hit?
So I hit 6 serves. she made all 6. So,
Leslie hit all 6
all
serves,
6 of them
and she was hitting them like to the tee.
They're pretty deep. Yeah.
I gotta say, I was impressed. I think Leslie herself was like, she like woke up from a concussion afterwards. She was like, "What happened? What just happened?"
So she did it. Got to give credit to where credit's due. Leslie handled it, made him look like it was nothing. So hopefully the Gladiators don't fare as well.
Oh, did you get to take any Michael Loyd serves on Friday?
I did. By the way, it's 84.53 miles per hour on a topspin lot. I didn't get the topspin lot. I got the cutter outside, but I got it back.
That's right. I saw you pull your groin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the groin okay?
It is. It is. I'll be ready for tomorrow night. I've been doing therapy 2 times a day.
A little cold plunge?
Cold plunge and some
red
ice.
light.
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
Love it.
Good. Well, let's talk about the Arizona Pickleball League documentary, working title, Breaking Pickleball. I believe you just kind of recently were talking to Cole about the episode that really we kind of follow Michael as he embodies the Peoria Pythons during season 1. What's your thoughts about the documentary that we made starring you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Surreal, honestly. Like it's crazy that I get to be in it. Cole's a good friend of mine, along with the rest of the crew. Ryan, Christian, they're all great guys, and it's been cool to get to know them, but also cool to see like just how good at their job they are. Like obviously you know that going into it, but then once you get to see the fruits of the labor, it's pretty cool. So I've seen a couple of clips so far. Obviously seen the trailer as well. Still kind of in shock that I get my own episode, and incredibly grateful for that. It's cool. I think it'll be fun for people to get to see me more off the court. It's probably really different than what a lot of people are expecting, to be honest. But I'm excited to share that side of me.
Yeah, I think that is one of the cool parts of your episode is, with the jewelry, with the not braggadocious, but just with the confidence that you play with on the court. I think a lot of people have this sort of, oh, he's a big blowhard or whatever, but you're kind of a big softie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely a teddy bear. Like I put it all on the court and kind of, like I said, that's a space where I need to like kind of be up and energy and like have all that stuff going. But off the court, I'm definitely a different guy. And so it'll be cool to like have people see the side of me that's like a little bit more me, that's what I am all the time. I kind of talk about pickleball as a thing that I do. It's not who I am. And I've got a lot of other stuff going on, and it's cool to be able to showcase that.
Folks, if you want to tune in to see the 2-minute teaser, you can go to breakingpickleball.com. Also, please subscribe when you're there. We'll notify you as we are ready to release new trailers, and when we're ready to release it. We're still kind of figuring out where it's going to be released at this point and doing some digging and turning over some rocks. But like Michael just said, Cole, the whole team did such an amazing job. It is a really, really beautiful project. The storyline is fantastic. We're also beginning to work on let's call it the chrome of like, there will be a map of Phoenix that has each logo connected to a city, and like the logo, like they come together at the orchard and it morphs into a leaderboard. It's just,
that's sick.
It's a level of professionalism that the crew here at Jigsaw Health, with Cole's help, and we're just making it look awesome. OSG?
And Cole, we're maybe 20 days out? Give or take. Or 60. Okay. So maybe 60 days. Okay.
Give or take.
Give or take. All right.
Love it.
Michael, what would winning the Orchard Cup tomorrow night mean to you?
Man, that would be... It would mean a lot. I think I'm a guy, I've talked about it before, who really enjoys team atmosphere and being a part of something bigger than myself. So to be able to kind of, have this team accomplishment in a sport that's oftentimes just you and maybe a partner would be great. And I don't know. It'll be just special to be a part of that Orchard Cup no matter what. But obviously it's a little bit sweeter if you can be hosting it up at the end there.
Well, we look forward to tomorrow night's match. Tickets are sold out, but you can tune in on the Orchard Pickleball YouTube channel, where we are broadcasting this fine podcast right now. We look forward to seeing you online. put some comments in there. And hey, don't forget to register for the Jigsaw Mega Bundle. You could win, I think this week for championship week, it's a double dose of Jigsaw prizes. So jigsawmegabundle.com. OSG, could you help us get ready
Yes.
for
The
Orchard Cup?
The Orchard Cup. Pickleballers, and Michael, you might know this. Do you know what Jesus said to Noah? Build it, and they will come. This place, yeah, from all over the world, they show up playing, watching, experiencing this incredible venue. The atmosphere, the intensity, the energy, the preciseness of every detail. That's what you get here at the Orchard. In about 24 hours from now, 4 ladies, 4 men, and 2 GMs will be playing in the biggest game of their lives, hoping they can hoist the most prestigious trophy in pickleball, the Orchard Cup. Few will ever get that opportunity, but when you do, you better soak it in and give it everything you got. Players, time to leave it all out on the court. Play one point at a time. Play loose. Just try your guts out. Ricky Bobby said it best. You ain't first, you last. Finally, what is an imagined place or state of things in which everything is perfect? Well, it's not imagined here. It's real. The Orchard at Jigsaw Health